How do you become one of the biggest pop stars on the planet without even trying? Okay, maybe not without trying, but without playing by the rules. Today, we're talking about the phenomenal Billie Eilish, the teenager who literally broke the music industry. Forget manufactured pop stars and big budget studios. Billie's story starts in a much more humble place, her brother's bedroom. Born Billie Eilish Pirate Bed O'Connell in December 2001, she grew up in a Los Angeles home that was practically buzzing with creativity. Her parents, Maggie Baird and Patrick O'Connell, were both actors and musicians, so it wasn't a house where kids were told to be quiet. Instead, they were encouraged to explore, to create, to make noise. Billie was homeschooled, which gave her and her older brother, Finneas, the freedom to dive deep into their passions. For Billie, that was music and dance. For Finneas, it was songwriting and production. It was a perfect storm brewing in a quiet LA neighborhood. Billie wasn't your typical kid dreaming of stadium tours. She joined the Los Angeles Children's Chorus at age 8, which honed her vocal skills, but her real musical education was happening at home. She learned to play the piano and ukulele, and started writing her own songs around age 11. She was inspired by a mix of artists, from the Beatles and Avril Lavigne to modern rappers. Her influences were all over the map, and that refusal to fit into one box would become her signature. Meanwhile, Finneas was getting seriously good at producing music using Logic Pro X in his small bedroom. This bedroom wasn't just a place to sleep, it was their laboratory, their studio, their creative sanctuary. Then came the song that changed everything. In 2015, Billie's dance teacher asked if she and Finneas could write a song for a choreography piece. Finneas had this beautiful, haunting track he'd already written called Ocean Eyes. Billie, who was just 13 at the time, recorded the vocals. They weren't trying to make a hit. They just needed a song for her dance class. They uploaded it to SoundCloud, a platform popular with indie artists, purely so her teacher could access it easily. They thought nothing of it. They went to bed, and then they woke up to a world that was starting to notice. Ocean Eyes went viral overnight. It was surreal. The song's dreamy, ethereal vibe combined with Billie's delicate, almost whispered vocals was unlike anything on the radio. It was raw, honest, and captivating. People were sharing it like crazy. Music blogs picked it up. Soon, record labels started calling. It was the digital age equivalent of being discovered at a soda fountain. Except the soda fountain was the internet, and the discovery was happening on a global scale. This is where the story gets really interesting. Most artists, when faced with sudden viral fame, get scooped up by a major label, paired with professional producers, and molded into a marketable product. But Billie and Finneas did something radical. They said no, well, not entirely. They signed a deal with Darkroom and Interscope Records, but they insisted on maintaining complete creative control. The music would still be written and produced by the two of them, in that same bedroom. The industry didn't know what to make of it. Here was this teenage girl, telling multi-million-dollar corporations how things were going to be. It was a power move, and it set the precedent for her entire career. Her first EP, Don't Smile at Me, dropped in 2017. It was a collection of smart, sardonic, and genre-bending tracks. Songs like Beleg, where she sings from the perspective of a killer, and the moody I Don't Wanna Be an Ari, which tackled body image and self-doubt, showed a depth and darkness that was unheard of for a pop artist her age. She wasn't singing about crushes and parties. She was exploring anxiety, depression, and the complex inner world of a teenager. Her vulnerability became her superpower. She was saying the things a lot of kids were feeling but didn't know how to express. And her look was just as defiant as her music. In a world of polished pop princesses, Billie showed up in baggy, oversized clothes, crazy colored hair, and a don't mess with me attitude. It wasn't just a fashion statement, it was a shield. She later explained that she dressed that way so the world couldn't have an opinion on her body, couldn't judge or sexualize her. It was another way she took control of her own narrative. As her fame grew, so did the anticipation for her debut album. And in March 2019, when we all fall asleep, Where Do We Go? Was unleashed on the world. And it was a cultural reset. Recorded and produced almost entirely by Finneas in his bedroom, the album was a masterpiece of weirdness and wonder. It was dark, funny, creepy, and beautiful all at once. It debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 chart and spawned the massive global hit, Bad Guy. That song, with its minimalist, thumping bassline and playful, taunting lyrics was inescapable. It knocked Old Town Road off the #1 spot after a record-breaking 19 weeks. Billie Eilish, the homeschooled kid from LA, had the biggest song in the world. The album wasn't just a commercial success, it was a critical darling. It proved that pop music didn't have to be sunny and formulaic. It could be strange, introspective, and still top the charts. The industry that she'd sidestepped was now forced to pay attention. This is the point where we see how that unconventional approach paid off, literally. By bucking the system and retaining control, Billie and Finneas kept a much larger share of their earnings. As of 2024, Billie Eilish's net worth is estimated to be around $50 to $75 million. That's an incredible amount of wealth for someone so young, and it's a direct result of her and her brother's business savvy and artistic integrity. They proved you don't need to sell out to sell records. Hey, if you're finding this story as inspiring as I do, and you want more deep dives into the artists who are changing the game, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. It really helps the channel out, and you won't miss our next video. We've got a lot more amazing stories to tell. Now, back to the awards. The 2020 Grammy Awards were essentially the Billie Eilish show. She was nominated for 6 awards and pulled off a historic sweep. She won all 4 of the major categories: Best New Artist, Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Album of the Year. She was the youngest person and the first woman to do so since 1981. Standing on stage, surrounded by her family, it was the ultimate validation. The 2 kids who made music in their bedroom had conquered the entire music industry on their own terms. But with massive fame comes massive pressure. Billie has been incredibly open about her struggles with mental health, depression, and the anxieties that come with being a global superstar. She's spoken about her experience with Tourette syndrome and body dysmorphia, using her platform to destigmatize these issues. This honesty just makes her fans feel even more connected to her. She's not some untouchable idol. She's a real person navigating the same confusing, messy feelings as everyone else, just on a much, much bigger stage. Her follow-up album, Happier Than Ever, released in 2021, showed a more mature and introspective side. The title track is a powerful, slow-burning anthem that builds into a cathartic rockout, showcasing her evolving sound and vocal power. She continued to write about fame, privacy, and emotional growth, but with a new perspective. She had proven her point. Now she was exploring what came next. She even wrote and performed the theme song for the James Bond film No Time to Die, which earned her an Academy Award, making her the first person born in the 21st century to win an Oscar for music. Most recently, her song What Was I Made For? From the Barbie movie soundtrack became another global sensation. It's a delicate, heartbreakingly beautiful ballad about existential crisis and finding purpose. It resonated deeply with audiences and earned her a 2nd Academy Award. At just 22 years old, she's a 2-time Oscar winner. It's just staggering. So, what's the lesson here? The story of Billie Eilish isn't just about talent, though she has it in spades. It's about authenticity. It's about having a clear vision and the courage to stick to it, even when the entire world is telling you to do something else. She didn't chase fame. She built it from her bedroom, on her terms, with the person she trusts most in the world, her brother. She turned her anxieties and vulnerabilities into art, and in doing so, gave a voice to a generation. She proved that you don't have to fit the mold to break it. In fact, sometimes, the only way to break the mold is to be gloriously, unapologetically, and completely yourself. Billie Eilish didn't just break the music industry's rules. She rewrote the whole rulebook, and the industry is still scrambling to catch up. What she and Finneas will do next is anyone's guess, but one thing is for sure, they'll be doing it their way. Thanks so much for hanging out and diving into this incredible story with me today. What's your favorite Billie Eilish song? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories about the people shaping our world. We'll see you in the next one.